Okay. Second, yeah, we're live streaming and that's off. Very good. So we are here at the Root Source end of fourth quarter and end of year board meeting. And the way that we do this is we share my screen. Let me get the right thing ready. And we basically read through the notes that I've prepared. If anybody has any comments, then we are happy to hear them. And if not, then we finish hopefully in about a half an hour. Okay, so the minutes of the meeting of the Board of Directors of Root Source, as per Article 6, Paragraph 7 of the Root Source bylaws, any action required to be taken, which may be taken at a meeting, may be taken without a meeting, and without prior notice, if a consent in writing or by electronic transmission setting forth the action to be taken is affirmed by the board members or members of the committee with respect to the subject matter of the vote, the consent must be filed with the corporate record by the secretary. The board of directors of this corporation affirmed their consent in writing with respect to the resolutions to act described below. At the bottom of this document is space for the board members to sign their affirmation, to affirm their consent. This document was prepared by the CEO, that's me, and circulated by WhatsApp among the directors, which we did, and in some cases was discussed in detail via Zoom. That is what we're doing now. That Zoom meeting was recorded, or is being recorded, and is available as is a copy of this document at the our archive of our board meetings, and its agenda items were agreed upon following the Zoom meeting held on Thursday, December 9th at 7 p.m. Israel time. That's not 7 p.m., rather at 8 p.m. Israel time. What time is it in Texas now, Ann?
Well, it is 12:05.
12 noon Texas time. Very good. So that was my mistake and I fixed it. Okay. Who is here? Al is here. Lou Ann is here and Dave is here. Revis is not here yet. If she shows up, then we'll move her over. Shelly said she won't show. Ellie Sheva also said that she won't show. Elon said he'd be a little late, and Revis might show up. And the following guests were presented with this. So the following board members were presented with this list of resolutions, were present at the Zoom meeting. And the following guests were also presented and were present at the Zoom meeting, just Armando and, of course, me. We'll keep Mike out of this. If he shows up, then we will add his name. And the following board members were presented with the list and were not present at the Zoom meeting, as we said. So that's 3 out of 7. A quorum is required for the business transactions. A quorum because of at least 40%. Since 3 board members, more than 40% of 7 total, or more are present, the meeting may proceed. If we have not had 3 board members, this would have been an informal action. So this is officially a board meeting. Very good. Okay. Our agenda, as it always is a review of the snapshot of the finances, a review of the reports of activities of Q3 and the whole year, and the whole year of 2022, and review of the plans for 2023. Good thing I prepared for this meeting, isn't it? Okay. The board shall review and approve the balances tab of the following document. Balances 2022. Here, it's already open. Okay. So we have a number of places where we have balances. In our Israeli account, today we have 20,000 shekels. I'm, of course, rounding, but here's the actual number, which according to 3.51, I think, which is the way that Google says the exchange rate for dollars to shekels, it's $5,891. In the Mizrahi dollar account, we have $39,000 because we recently transferred the money from our American Row account, which is down here. We'll get to that in a moment. PayPal Israel, we have $487 there. Tomorrow or early next week, which is the first of the month, we will be transferring that money to our Israeli account, to the Mizrahi bank account. That's PayPal. Gumroad, we only have $9 there today. Give Butter, we only have $200 instead of the $38,000 and similar that we've had over the past year and pretty much since we started, because we decided to finally take the money out of that and move it over to our row account. So we moved it over, but it hadn't landed yet. So all we had in the row account was $1,600 or $1,700. It says here no money was en route from row to Mizrahi. We already made that transfer and it appeared, but we need to make another transfer according to our contract from our row bank account to our Israeli account, but we will do that probably tomorrow. Pending in row is $42,000 worth of the Nathaniel Foundation. Oh, I didn't tell you about that. Besides the $15,000, you guys showed up, so you get to hear it before anybody else. Besides the $15,000 grant that we got from the Nathaniel Foundation in October or November or something like that, we got a $42,000 grant from them, which they said, yes, thank you, Armando. That was delivered only a couple of days ago. And so we deposited that check. Nowadays, you deposit checks through the internet. We deposited that check into our row bank account. It didn't land yet, but earlier today, after I prepared this document, we did get it. So today we don't have $1,700 in our row account. We have closer to $43,700 in our bank account, which is very nice. Which is wonderful. This check for that grant were for two things. It is for the New Testament Midrash project, the Institute for Midrashic Studies of the New Testament. I am the executive director of that organization. It's part of my work as the executive director of Root Source. It is a project of Root Source. And Dr. Pitcher here is the academic director of that organization. And Bemet, Dr. Pitcher, it fell through the chairs, as they say. I probably forgot to remind you that we want an end of quarter report. You did an end of quarter report, I think, 2 or 3 months ago. So it's time for an end of report, and you've got a lot of stuff that you're going to talk about. So you don't have to do anything until I ask you to do something in writing. But I'll tell you unofficially that I'm probably going to ask you for that. And the other, we got $30,000, I think, or $32,000 for that a grant request. And another $10,000 we finally got for what I call Christian outreach, which will be marketing. And that is what we're going to be doing this year, marketing. Hopefully we're going to have, right now we have about 15,000 people who subscribe to our newsletter. We got about 2,000 new people last month when we ran the Kristallnacht Light Up the Church project. And we did that because we did a Facebook campaign for that Kristallnacht project, and it was quite successful. But like I said frequently to whoever I felt like saying it to, the most important part of that project was that we had a successful experience with our Facebook consultant, Azriel Ratz, at Ratzpack Media. So I'm looking forward to starting to work with him in general about Root Source. Maybe we'll also do something specific with the Institute of Midrashic Studies of the New Testament, but probably I will focus first in the general because that's where I want to focus. And hopefully we will see thousands of more people coming in through Facebook over the next few months. I think that the Kristallnacht project that we did, we got 2,000 people, I think, in 2 weeks. I don't think we worked for more than 2 weeks on that project. If we will work on a general project, do you love Jesus and do you love Torah? That's what I have in mind to pretty much do the campaign. Then hopefully we will find more than 1,000 or 2,000 people a week. I'm just guessing that number, but I'm really excited to do that. So we're going to be focusing on that next year, which we will talk about later on. Anyway, other funds that we're expecting is the 38,000 or so. It's more by now by far, minus this 200. This is the 200 that came in after I transferred all of the money that we had in there. In other words, over the past day or two, because we did this transfer a couple of days ago. So that's $47,000 that is en route. So between these 42 and $47,000, that comes out to about $90,000. And that is what I'm expecting to have in our row bank account. We're going to be quickly doing a transfer of about $10,000, which is what Root Source Israel is still owed from Root Source America, but that'll still leave us with about $80,000 in our bank account in the United States, which is much more than we had all these years. We're doing very well. Bli ayin hara, financially. Okay, so our total balances in Mizrahi, PayPal, GiveButter, Row, and En route, I think En route included. Let me see if that's true. Let me do a quick. Yeah, our total, including all the money that is En route, all of our balances are $137,000. Last year, our balances at this time of year were $120,000. And in other words, we are coming out with more than we had at this time last year after spending all the money to do all of the things that we did this year, which I will be sharing with you hopefully in about 5 minutes after I finish going through this, maybe 10 minutes after I finish going through this document. I'll reiterate, if anybody has anything to ask, please ask in the middle. Okay, so total income into Row since January of this year, $184,000. In other words, it's not like we added $20,000 and that's why we're $20,000 more than we were last year. No, we added $184,000. So we've probably, and here comes Ilan, welcome. So we've probably spent about $50,000, 190 to 137 or something like that. Whatever. I think we spent more than that. Maybe we'll see that in some of this money. Anyway, our total income donations, this is very exciting. Close to $150,000 of people giving donations this year. Very exciting. And that's a total, that's 100 unique donors. Now, the Pareto rule was at work this year because 20% of our income was 80% of our income was generated not by 20% of our donors, but by 2% of our donors. The foundations of the Nathaniel Foundation and the Carson Myers Foundation gave us 80% of our income, and we'll see that in a moment. And the rest, the 20%, was by about 98 of our donors. But we'll see that. That's not too. I was about to say that's neither here nor there. That's not true, because the WISE fundraiser will focus on the 20% or the 2% of his best income. Why spend time on people who are going to give you barely 20% if you can spend time on people who are going to give you 80%? But besides Azriel, who will help us bring in new people, I'll also be working Bezrat Hashem this year with Arnie Drayman, who is a fundraising consultant, and hopefully we'll be able to get to more of those 100 people, more of the new people, and more new foundations and significant potential givers who can give us not $100 a year, but closer to $10,000 or $30,000 a year. With one donation, we'll get that much. The total income that we got into our Row bank account since we opened it is close to $282,000. This minus that is about $130,000 we got this year. It looks like we got 184 this year, so I'm not sure exactly how that fits through to 150. It looks like it should be 130, but it's actually 180. I'm not sure why. Doesn't really matter. And our total Give Butter income, in other words, people have made donations since we started using Give Butter, is $313,000, which is, I think, since January 2021. And in other words, 2 years ago. So, which, I mean, it sounds right. This year, we got about 150, and the year before we got about 150. That seems to be right, more or less. Altogether, we've had 282 donors through Give Butter, which means that only a third of our donors gave money this year. If anybody of you deal with fundraising, there's this thing called Libunt or something else, Cybunt. Last year, didn't give any money, gave, but not last year. I don't know exactly what that really stands for. But I hope that this year we will try to encourage people who haven't given us money this year to give, even a small amount, but maybe we'll succeed. I also hope to enlarge this number. Right now, it's pretty small. Only 16 people give us regularly every month, or in some cases, I think 1 or 2 cases once a year. But we're getting about $1,000 a month from these people, including the people who give us annually. What's that called? The spread out to the year. Well, what's that called when you break it down? Amortized. Thank you. I think that's not the word that I was thinking of, but that sounds like the right word. Now, we also have old donors that they give us through PayPal directly to our Israeli account and not through the Row and the Give Butter. We'd love to move them over, but instead of moving them over, they just stop because they don't answer our emails. So, but at this point, we started out last year with 74 donors such as this. Little by little, we're losing them, but they're small donors. They're $7 a month, at most $19 a month. So we're down from about $1,000 last year to $823 a month this year from them. And hopefully some of them will move over, but if not, we will build the Give Butter monthlies much faster. We also have Gumroad givers. There are only 3 of them, and they're giving us $50, $40 a month. That is our finances. If you have any questions about that, I'll be happy. Well, we're going to go back get back a little more to other things about finances at the bottom of this. But if anybody has any comments or questions at this point, I'll be happy to field them. If not, then I'll continue. Other numbers that we follow here are our Weber newsletter subscribers. This was actually going down over the months. Got down to 11,029, but since, like I said, we ran a campaign, we're up another 1,300. So we're up to 12,000, which is more than we've ever been, I think. Not only are the numbers, the numbers here are good, but also not only the quantity, but also the quality, because new people are the best people because they're not tired of us. Problem is I haven't been focused on that enough this year, but hopefully by next year, 1,000 new subscribers we're gonna barely notice it. But like I said, we've been losing about 1 or 2% every 3 months. But in the past 3 months, we went up 12% because of the Light Up the Church Facebook campaign. Our YouTube subscribers are growing not that much in the past quarter. but it had been growing by 1 or 2 or 3% every quarter, and we're now up to 3,137 subscribers. Our views, however, are growing very nicely. Not sure if this is the right number. I would be very surprised if it's really exact like that, but it might be that we exactly grew 1.17% over the past 3 months. And here we are at 630,000 views. At this rate, again, once we have more subscribers, we're going to get more viewers, more of everything. And we might end up getting to 1 million views, I think, at this rate. Maybe not at this rate, but halabai, we should get 1 million views. That's a nice round number by this time next year. The Vimeo views are more important because they are actual teachers are there. These are most of the videos that are on Vimeo and not on YouTube end up being are viewed on our website. So those are growing. This is growing nicely. It's 21%, but still they're very little. We want to have a lot more views on this, and this is something that we're going to be working on this year. Looks like Armando popped out, but here he comes again. Okay, these are some numbers that I added this year. We are actually selling books. So we sold 104 ebooks this year, 205 paperback books, and 20 hardcover books. It's very nice. In Gumroad, which is a different way of selling, I thought we sell more there, but I see that we sell less. We sold 20 and 20 and 10. And we also sold some DVDs. Altogether, our royalties in Gumroad, $16,000, which is amazing. In other words, our royalty, no, this is not just this. We got more than this royalty. And this also includes a sale of some, I think it was 7,000, I don't know, some thousands and thousands of books that of 5 years with the Orthodox Jews that Bob and Steve Werp bought for Steve Werp's thousands of subscribers at Better by Israel or by, what is it? Blessed by Israel. Anyway, those are some of the numbers. And every quarter, I think of more and more focused numbers to share with you. If there's something that you'd like to see that I didn't share with you now, please, by all means, share that with me. So that is the finances. Second. Now we're going to see a report of the activities of Q4 and the entire year. Here it is in our Root Source 2022 annual report. Is that right? No. It's here. 1 second. Yes, the First Melissa report. So First Melissa is a supporter. They give us something like $100, $200 a quarter or a month or something like that. Very nice. And they encouraged me to create such a report for them, and I'm happy to share it with everybody. So these are the activities that we focused on or completed in Root Source in the past quarter. Obviously, this I put in the order of importance, in my opinion. Obviously, the biggest project that we did this last quarter was the Kristallnacht Light at the Church. We launched this important program culminating November 9th. We reached hundreds of Christian churches, businesses, and homes, including 2,000 names that we added to our email list, and envision turning this into an annual date on the worldwide Christian calendar. Hey, I'm not going to click through there now. I hope that all of you are familiar with that site. Our nation's 9th of Av Gala, our first hybrid, live and online, not inline, but online. Whoops, I'm changing it here, but the email that I'm going to send. Event ever and first in-person event in Israel since before COVID, possibly since Root Source launched in 2015. I don't know if anybody of you were here in Israel, but some of you hopefully were there online. Steve was here. I invited him to be our guest here today, but he didn't make it. It was also for this is the online recording. We raised, I think, $3,000 for something like that. And we also were featured in the All Israel News report. At the same time, we had a RootSource Annual Bridge Builders Prize. We awarded it. It was sort of a proto prize to Rabbi Yehuda Glick and Sharon Sanders of the Christian Friends of Israel within the framework of the Nation's Ninth of Av RootSource Gala. Hopefully next year will be bigger, more developed and clear and better promoted. This is a dream that I have, that the RootSource Annual Bridge Builders Prize, I don't think I have to explain it much more than that. A few years ago, we did the Bridge Builders, 70 people won the award. I think most of you who are here, and those who are will win next year. And I hope to do such an event in Jerusalem where we will be honoring new people every year. The List 2020, this book was published in August 2022, and copies were presented at that gala. Fundraising, we raised, like I said, over $150,000 through Give Butter fundraising campaigns since 2020 January from over 100 friends of RootSource. Thank you all. Over 99 friends. Actually, since I finished this sheet this morning with my assistant Joanna, I'm happy to give her much credit. We got another donation, so we got 101 donations this year, 101 donors this year, a new donor. Back to here. Legacy subscribers. We raised $8,700 this year through our legacy subscribers from 54 friends of RootSource. This is down from 22,000 from 80 friends last year. We are okay with that because we are trying to move people to our Give Butter platform from PayPal. I like okay better here, like that. Okay. Our foundations. In addition to grants from our friends at the Nathaniel Foundation, we were also awarded a new grant from the Carson Meyer Foundation. And next week I have a meeting with my contact there. Hopefully we will be on target to submit and win another grant from them this year. They decide and award grants once a year. Our store, we have upgraded our online store. As of this writing, you can buy 27 books or products, more than double the offerings of last year. 27 products, and I think 13 books that RootSource has published. For a comprehensive report, see here, which we will be seeing you and I next, and that's what we're going to be seeing in a moment. So we're back to here. That is the review of activities of Q4, and the plans and more activities what we did last year are on this document, which I'm about to show you. Any questions at this point? No, so let's continue on. Here are the 15 things that we prophesized in December 2021 that we would achieve by December 2022 and how we measured up. This is in the order that we listed it on our December 2021 annual report. So it is not listed in a proud way. It's not the best things first and the lower things at the bottom. It's I listed it differently, so what can you do? Working on upgrading the audio and visual aspects of our courses. This has been assigned lower priority due to the other projects that we focused on. We continue to publish and upgrade our newsletter. We do continue to publish weekly. We might change to daily to raise our website views and clicks next year. We host quarterly Zoom events. We ended up only doing two Zoom events, the Shavuot Symposium and the Nation's Ninth of Av. We continue to support the Institute of Midrashic Studies. We raised over $30,000 this year for the project and awarded $20,000 in fellowship grants to over 4 articles that were submitted to journals, of which one will be published in 2023 with God's help. Dr. Pitcher, the academic director, has written a quarterly report, so that's probably his report. You can look at it. We're not going to spend time on it now. We hoped that we would do Jewish outreach through live lectures and Zoom to encourage teachers. We didn't do that this year. We're waiting for more Christian outreach. As for recruiting new teachers, we aspire to have 100 teachers by December 22. We didn't reach that. At the beginning of the year, we did recruit more teachers. I think it was the beginning of this year. We recruited, I think, 50% of new teachers. We had, I think, 12, and now we have 18. But we stopped that because they weren't getting enough views on their new lessons, and I decided that I don't want to try to get people to record new lessons if they're not going to get a significant amount of views. But we'll talk a little bit, might talk a little bit more about that later on in this meeting. Work towards localization of root source in Africa, China, India, and more. We did publish 40 Days in Korean. Here is a copy of our Korean book. You see the Korean there? Pretty cool, I think. Here is Korean, if anybody knows what Korean looks like. See that? We will work on other books and other materials, also in Chinese. We also met with Armando, who is here. Hi, Armando. He's from Panama, so we plan to move forward in Spanish and Portuguese. Armando, that is not an action item for you, except that you and I will have to meet a little bit more frequently to see if we can move that forward.
To do that.
Pardon me?
Happy to do that.
Okay, Baruch Hashem. Okay, another thing that we wanted to do this year was to hire a Christian outreach marketing manager towards expanding root sources reaches in the world tenfold. So we did do a bit about that. As I mentioned, through Light Up the Church, we retained every Ratch expert. We succeeded over 2,000 in the newsletter. We hope to see how this develops. We wanted to hire a development officer. We started working with Arnie Draymond, and we will see how that develops. We hope to host, this was last year, next year's Bridge Builders program. We did that with the Nation's Ninth of Av, as we discussed. We wanted to expand the Root Source Conversations podcast program. We're going slow on this, but letting God lead. Primarily, we have been working very strongly with Dr. Richard Booker. Every week, we record something with him, and maybe we'll do other things. We'll see how that works out. We hope to like-minded activists and organizations to launch joint educational ventures. We did that with Nations Ninth of Av a little bit, and hopefully we'll find more such like-minded activists. We hope to publish 4 new titles. We ended up publishing 5 books. Bridge Builders, these are abbreviated titles. Bridge Builders, the top activists in Christian Jewish engagement. Master of Return, the full title of that, where is it? Here it is. The Master of Return and the 11th Light. I don't know if any of you have acquired that book. It is our second novel that we published, that we written by Eliyahu Berkowitz, a favorite of pro-Israel Christians. He is a writer for Israel 365 News. We also published, of course, the Passover Symposium, which we held last year. We're already working on the Shavuot Symposium, which we held this year. And we're also looking forward to doing a Sukkot Symposium next September. But anyway, the Passover Symposium book we published this year. I don't know if you can see that. One second. Where am I? Here I am. There's the book. It's a very nice book. Next year, we're going to have a beautiful cover that we're working on for the Shavuot Symposium. And the List 2020, which was already published. Here it is. Whoops, wow. It fell on my foot. I'm going to have to go to the hospital. Here it is. The List 2020, very fat book. And this is what we hope to do. And we succeeded in doing that. And we launched that book. I don't remember when. I think we launched. No, we are. Yeah, I don't even remember. We must have launched. I don't know. Rivka Adler was going to publish a second edition of 10 from the Nation. Well, she decided not to do that. No worries. We wanted to create Gumroad widgets. We were waiting for more Christian outreach for that. And we were probably going to welcome another grandchild or 2. We welcomed 3. I have 3 grandchildren under 6 months old, 2 of which are under 2 months old. Mazel tov. And if you click through on this, you'll see pictures of them. I'm not going to do that now. Maybe I should. What the heck? Yalla. We'll open up these links and then we'll look at them when it links open. And what did we actually do? I'm going to try to run through this quickly because this is of course the annual report, quarterly report. I try to we've been succeeding in having these quarterly report read-throughs in 30 minutes and not an hour. It looks like we're going to be getting up to maybe 45 minutes or more. So thank you, everybody who can stick around with us. The guides are silver seal. We succeeded in doing that. At the beginning of the year, we're going to see what we can do. Maybe this year we'll reach the platinum seal. Crystal Nacht, of course, we did. The Nation's Ninth of Av, we did. The annual prize, we did. The List 2020, we mentioned. Korean 40 Days, we did. Shavuot Symposium, we held. And we are working on publishing the proceedings. The Passover Symposium proceeding, we did publish that. Master of Return, I mentioned. Fundraising, we raised. I told you about this already. Legacy Survivors. This is pretty much the same thing as what we did in the quarterly report. Foundations, continue to publish the newsletter. Our store we have upgraded. Online events, we had 2. Podcasts, we were a documentary guest for First Foundations podcast. And hopefully I spoke to them. It's taking a while for that documentary to be published, but we'll see what happens. Our advisory board, we're working on expanding our advisory board. Right now we have about 20 people on our WhatsApp group. One of whom is here, Armando. Shalom to you. Thank you very much. And this is actually, here it is, they're open. Here are this is my 6-month-old. Here is one of my 1 month old. And here's the other one of my 1 month old. That's a girl, Toar Liba. Toar Liba means pure heart. And Dvir Pinchas. Pinchas is a biblical name, Phineas, named for my father of blessed memory. And Dvir means the Holy of Holies of the temple. So that is Akiva's son, and he, of course, is the deputy director of Biadenu, the one of the organizations that promotes the Temple Mount activity and knowledge. And Roni Leah, of course, is a biblical name, and Roni means be happy. So she's making us all happy too. Okay, sorry for being a proud grandfather. Let's
It's
get back to work.
They're all beautiful. Gidon there.
Well, yeah, I'm going to behold open up some pictures of the 3 who. No, those are the wrong pictures. These are the ones that I'm trying to open. My oldest, second oldest, third oldest, and 4 oldest who we haven't seen. When those pictures get open, they're open pretty fast. Here's my oldest grandson, Nachman Simcha. Here is this is Netanel Baruch. He just now had his 3rd birthday, so we gave him a haircut. I think this is right after. This is in between, whatever. And here is our almost 3-year-old. He is Yosef Adin. And here is our 4th. His name is Chesed Ranein. Chesed Ranein means happy and grace or something like that. Okay, so those are my grandchildren. What can I do? I'm a proud grandfather. What are our plans for 2023? We will certainly hire a development officer. That is Arnie. I don't know how long he's going to stick around with us and how much is going to be successful, but Baruch Hashem, we're earmarking tens of thousands of dollars to that project. Hiring a Christian outreach marketing manager, tens and tens of thousands of dollars to that project. But the more people who come in, the more money we're going to be able to make. And hopefully we're going to soon grow to a system that more people are going to come in, fundraise from then to fund more, bringing more people coming in. It'll be a perpetual motion machine. B'ezrat Hashem. Hopefully we're going to host next year's Bridge Builders program. I hope to do that. We talked a little bit before this meeting with Al and Steve from Nation's Ninth of Av. Maybe we didn't mention this in that meeting, but maybe we'll do that like we did it this past year in conjunction with them in July around Tisha B'Av. We'll of course continue to work on the Institute for Midrashic Studies of the New Testament with Dr. Pitcher. We're already planning of 4 new titles. That would be the List 2020 1 and the list 2022 and a couple of other books. I don't remember offhand. That doesn't really matter. And you saw it here first. The list 2021. We are going to be launching this in an event on January 22nd, the virtual event. Coming up, we already announced this in our newsletter last Tuesday. Today was Thursday. Next week, I don't know. It's so soon we're going to announce this, and hopefully we're going to have dozens of people at the live launch. The special guest speaker at that event will be Rabbi Ken Spiro. We haven't heard from him in a while, and he's a historian. He's going to be talking about anti-Semitism, past and present. Hopefully not future. We will continue to publish our newsletter. We will host quarterly Zoom events. I'm not going to go through the Zoom events, but I have planned 4 events for this year. We're going to be doing Jewish outreach, live lectures, Zoom to encourage Jewish teachers to join Root Source. Pending the success of our Christian outreach efforts, we aspire to have 100 teachers by December 2023. This is more or less the same thing. We will work towards localization in Africa, China, India. We'll see what happens there. We will expand more conversations. Hopefully, I will get around to marketing the list series to libraries. Today, we have the list 2020, the list 2021. We're going to be having the list 2022. And by January 2024, we will have the list 2023. Zrat Hashem. And that's already something that we could sell to libraries all over the world. We'll work on the audio visual, like we said. We'll engage like-minded activists, create the widget. Maybe, I said probably, welcome another grandchild or two. I'm not responsible for that. That's something that I have can't blame me, and I don't get credit for. And other things, and many other things that I haven't thought of yet. I'd also like to point out here, it says here 142 generous supporters. I'm a little bit confused. Maybe we have to fix that. I thought we had 100 generous supporters. I don't know, but Baruch Hashem, we got more than $50,000 from 2 donors. Frankly, it was more than $100,000. And another $10,000 from the Carson Myers Foundation. I wanted to list them on their own, so I made a new category for that. A bunch of $1,000 or more people. Some of these people are giving just $100 a month. And so, like Anne, for example, thank you very much, Anne. So we're looking forward to seeing more people like that. Here are some people who are giving $50 a month or something like that. Some people giving $25 a month, and you end up being a Turtle Dove supporter. And here are their fine flour with even a mere $7 or $8 a month. You're already getting up to $100 a year, and you're listed here. And people who gave just $10 one time, we're going to list them also. Thank you very, very much. And those are our donors. And that is it. 45 minutes. Anybody have anything else that they'd like to add?
Just a question, Gidon, on Christian outreach. Does that mean you want more Christian viewers?
That's exactly what I mean.
Okay, just clarify.
I don't mean spreading the gospel. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing Christian outreach as a Christian, doing outreach to non-Christians to try to make them Christians, which is something very good, I think. But I'm a root source doing outreach to Christians. Basically, it's marketing, Christian marketing, but outreach sounds nice, and because that's what we're doing. We're doing outreach to Christians.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this looks very good. Thank you, and thanks also for sharing the pictures of the grandkids. That's my favorite part.
Mine too. So we will now, before we adjourn, let me just move this over again. Therefore, resolved that all the items and documents have been examined by not all directors yet, but at least the 3 directors that are here. they are approved and adopted, and that all actions taken thus far have been ratified. This is obviously just legalese that I copied from someplace. Elisheva will, her name is Ellie now. I think I don't know if she made it official, but she likes to be called Ellie. This is not the right date, but let's start with Anne. Present, can I do this for you, Anne? You were present
Yes.
and you affirmed on December 29th,
Please.
2022. Thank you. And can I do the same for you, board member Albert McCarn?
Yes, please.
Second, and second. And Elon, you're also here. Are you still here, Elon?
I think he just signed off.
Yeah, he just signed off. Great updates. I have to run. Regards to all. Wow, missed him by 3 minutes. Okay, I'm sure that he doesn't mind. That he will call that affirm that message that he gave. And Dave, you are also a board member.
Yeah.
So we got 4 board members here. Not bad. And Shelley, we don't have yet. We'll get through to her. And Revis and Ellie are the people that we have to do. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? I would just
No.
like to, yes, Ann.
Well, it just makes me smile. Gadone. I don't know when the first time we met. It's been quite a while ago. But it was your first trip to Texas. And I just warms my heart to see that the dream that you had, when you first went over there to that ICJC, whatever that place is called, and thought that there would be interested Christians who would want to know more about their Jewish heritage. I'm telling you, I just think you're doing great. I applaud you.
Thank you very much, Ann. It's with your certainly moral support, and as we saw, also financial support, and with your encouragement. And when we first met, you have to understand, anybody who doesn't know this story, Bob's father of blessed memory now invited me to come visit him in Texas. I've never been in Texas, and he was living in San Antonio. But somehow Ann found out about me and said, why don't you come? If you're already coming to Texas, come and I'll invite a few friends over and you'll talk to us in my living room. So I said, sure, like everybody knows, I'm willing to talk to anybody who wants to listen to me. And I'm going to mute you in a second. Let me finish the story. I see you're already saying no. I landed in Dallas. I said, okay, I'll go to Granbury. I didn't know where this stuff was. It was an hour drive from the Dallas airport, something like that. I knocked on that blessing house in Granbury, 50 people in Ann's living room. I said, and we talked for an hour. I said, I don't know how or when, but I'll be back. And that was it. Ann showed me that there are people who are actually interested in Root Source's message. And so that was an incredible zrikati dud, as we say in Hebrew, an incredible inoculation, is that the right word? Of encouragement. And since then, Ann, here you are. You were the president of the board. Okay, thank you for the time that you were, and you're still a member of the board, and you're an incredibly encouraging friend. Thank you very, very much.
Well, there's something that is not quite right. Bob Odell called me when I came back from Israel. I think I got back on a Friday or a Saturday, like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and he called me about you. And I didn't know who Bob Odell was. I sure didn't know who you were. But Christine Darg had recommended you. And I thought, my husband's going to kill me if I try to do something again. But, as a side note, he's getting a lot better about those things. He just rolls with punches. But at that particular time, so I just want to say there's so many times, no, not so many, but this, I think back on how close I came. Oh, I said no. Bob was tenacious and trying to get me to do this. And how close I came to missing God. I mean, that's not the only time I've come close, but boy, that was a close one. And I'm so glad that I didn't miss the Lord.
Imagine. I could only imagine that had we not met, then what would I have done in Dallas, in Texas? I probably would have came once. Instead, I came until COVID set in 8 times in 2 years. Every 90 days, I was flying to Dallas. Those were really rough times for me. I didn't cut myself any slack. And one of these days, I'm going to convince myself that it's worth a trip, because right now Zoom is doing just amazing for me. But I will definitely be back. And Armando, once I'm in, first of all, when I come to America, I go through Florida because that's where my family is. And I will, from Florida, I'll take a pop over to Panama, right? Unless you'll be coming in Florida at the same time. You're on mute, Armando. Unmute yourself. Let's hear you.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to propose, that you showed up in Panama, and so that I can introduce you to some friends. So that's an excellent idea.
Okay. No question about that. Okay, maybe we'll, like I said, what our homework now, or quasi homework, is to start working on root source Portuguese and Spanish. Like I told you, and I have one of my best friends. Imagine that. I have a Jewish best friend. His name is Rabbi Uri Fish, and he is he's very good. What's it called? He's fluent in. He's from Brazil originally, so he's obviously fluent in Portuguese, and he's also fluent in Spanish, or so he says. I don't know. And so I'm going to try to encourage him to start recording some lessons for the Portuguese and Spanish channels of Root Source. And once we have those online, then we'll come out to, maybe I'll even bring him to Panama. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I like to dream big. Zeu. Okay, so thank you all very much. Look at this. Armando is here, and we're looking to visit there. I don't even remember how we met, Armando, but that's very good. It's good when you forget how you met, because things are moving so fast forward. And of course, we're looking forward to come back there. And Dave, we're moving forward on the Institute for Midrashic Studies of the New Testament, and Al with the Nation's Ninth of Av. So we're doing a lot, and
Yes.
hopefully going to be doing more and more.
I would invite you to South Carolina, but maybe I'll come see you before you come see me.
No problem. But listen, I had been doing 2-week trips, mostly in Dallas, focusing on Dallas, which is something that usually when people go to the States, they run around all sorts of different states. I said, listen, I want to focus on one place, dig deep.
Yes.
Maybe because of my next trip, I'll visit a lot of friends all over the place. We'll see. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very, very much. Shabbat Shalom, as we say in Hebrew, Shana Tova, have a happy new year. And we'll see you in 3 months in this format, but certainly before that as well. And hopefully you'll all show up for the launch of the List 2021, which will be in the end of January, the 22nd, I think, towards International Holocaust Memorial Day. The Israeli Memorial Day is Yom HaShoah, which comes out just before Yom Ha'atzmaut in May or so every year. But this is the day that the UN, I think, decided for the whole world that they don't know from Yom HaShoah or from the Hebrew calendar. So it might be if we continue. This is why I want to release this book and launch this book every year, because it might be something that people who not celebrate but commemorate International Holocaust Memorial Day in January every year, it'll be something that they can actually do that year. So we'll see. We got many years to come. Tov, shalom, shalom. Thank you for your time.
Shalom. Thank you. Get on.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.